I know, Joanne, it's just a series of profanity until the cameras start. She's a sailor.
It's not me. Not me.
No, of course not. Of course not. You know, I was thinking about doing. I had two ideas for another appreciationist. One was to do an appreciationist where everybody's in their pajamas.
Oh, well.
Well, I could do that.
I can do that any day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Well, Tom, he
I'm
got
practically
these.
in my pajamas now.
Yeah. Why do you think I don't have the webcam going on? No, seriously.
You're funny, Val.
It's cool because Tom, I was cleaning up and I saw Tom has these pajamas that his lovely lady bought him, and there's a onesie. It's a onesie footy pajamas, and I thought I definitely.
Oh my God.
I like to wear funny things, right? You see me here with my bow tie and suspenders, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be crazy to wear the footy pajamas on camera? And so I might do that. And then there's another one I want to try. I want to try and do a late night appreciationist, like I don't know, maybe a Saturday night, late at night, you know, a midnight one. And instead of water in my cup, I'm gonna have a little whiskey in my cup, you know. I wish there was whiskey in it right now.
That's gonna be a very different one.
Oh yes, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I've always wanted to do a video of me explaining the law of attraction, but drunk, like as drunk as I've ever been.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Well,
especially you, Peter. And then I'd have to get Canyon on it.
Oh, that's good. That's a great idea.
Well, you know,
That's a great idea.
About a year ago, I think, I proposed it to a group. I mentioned it in a group, and I got just dead silence. People were like, why the heck would you do that? But I saw a TV show
People
called...
talk more when they're drunk. They tell the truth.
I thought it was funny. Yeah, exactly. They tell the truth. They make fun of themselves. But
Exactly.
I saw a show called, and this is something to appreciate. There's a show on Comedy Central called Drunk History. Have you guys ever heard of it?
No.
Drunk History is these people, they sit down and they record a person explaining a historical event, but drunk. They're drinking through the whole thing and really drunk. If you go to thecomedynetwork.ca and you click the shows and you click on Drunk History, you can watch whole episodes online. And I just thought it was so funny. Here I'm listening to sort of history. I mean, I love history just generally speaking, but I imagine that a lot of people don't care that much about history, but they'd be willing to listen to it in the context of somebody being drunk, you know? And
is it accurate or it's not at all?
Oh, I don't know how accurate it is. I mean, it doesn't strike me as a show to me.
That's a problem.
But what they do, what's cool is that they recreate, as the person's speaking, they recreate what the person is saying, but with real actors, like with actors that you know, like Will Ferrell and all, you know, popular actors, and they recreate what they're doing, but in the style that they say drunk. So if they're rambling, the character rambles. You really have to check it out. It's really a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a lot of
What's
fun.
it called?
Drunk History.
Okay.
Could you imagine teachers, you know, giving that as an assignment to their students,
Yeah.
and then it's like the next day, okay, let's talk about it, and then
It's like, oh God, no.
fun homework.
That's right.
Maybe not the best role model though. That's a problem.
Yeah, no. Okay, cool. So I think we have our set here. So we have. I'm going to have everybody introduce themselves in just a moment. We'll start the show officially. You guys are ready?
Ready.
Okay. I got my comment of the week.
What's the joke?
The joke of the week?
Yeah.
Oh.
Is Hope still there?
Oh yes, Hope is hanging on strong.
Oh my God.
I tried last week.
Oh, that's right, you did. Yeah.
I tried, but you know, it almost didn't count because I wasn't really. It was just written, you know.
Yeah, me too. I couldn't get on either.
Right.
Keep Hope alive.
And that's right. Keep it alive.
Oh, Peter, you should have as a word for next week or the week after, whatever. You should have awesome.
Awesome. Okay, let's.
You know what? That is an awesome word.
That is an awesome word. I like the word awesome.
We'll do that. Awesome.
I use it a lot.
We'll
Apparently.
do that.
Everybody.
Tom uses the word fantastic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and every time we go to the grocery store or something, he'll say to the cashier, "Hi, how are you?" So I'm great. He goes, I'm fantastic. And then I'll say, he's not really fantastic. He's just awesome. He's kind of exaggerating.
I tried using that a bit. Just takes too long. There's too many syllables.
Yeah.
Boy,
Well,
when
awesome
you guys get together, people must look at you like, holy crap, you guys look so much alike.
Well, I don't feel like we look that much alike anymore, but I think people are looking at us because when we walk around outside, especially Tom and I together, we are the star of our own show, and there's nobody else who's more important than us. And we talk. We're not talking so that only we can hear. We talk so everybody can hear. And the amount of times people are just laughing around us, it's fun, I guess it's part of the.
Awesome. See, that's awesome.
There you go. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay, let's get ready. Okay. Hi, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Peter Hartman. You're watching The Appreciationist. Tonight's show we'll be discussing the Epoch Emotiv headset, the Emotiv Epoch headset, and also the Oculus Rift virtual goggles, reality goggles. We'll also be talking about holophonic sound. We have a lot of talk about today, so let's jump right into it. Who's here in the room? Who wants to introduce themselves first? Who's brave?
My name is Lee.
Lee's brave. How are you doing, Lee? How's awesome. That's right. Look,
It's my favorite word. It always will be.
How's your week been?
My week has been great, actually.
Awesome.
Look at that. I'm trying to use something other than awesome.
Well, you're doing a good job. In a moment, I'll ask you for a moment of appreciation. We'll get a taste of what was so great this week, but I'm glad to hear that. Who's next? Who wants to introduce themselves? I love doing this. It's just so much fun.
All right, I'll go. I was pointing at you, Joanne, but you couldn't see
you were?
me. Okay, sorry. This is Val.
Hi,
And
Val.
I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining. And our last but not least, of course.
I'm Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. How you doing?
Nice to meet you all.
Nice to see you again.
I'm doing good.
Lee, Valerie, Joanne, thank you very much for joining me today. It's always a lot of fun to have you here. You guys are fast becoming regulars, and I appreciate that.
Yes, we are.
Well, speaking of appreciation, how about a moment of appreciation? What's been good this week? Lee, I know has one. The Lego Movie. Okay, no spoilers, but I hear it's good.
Well, remember the last time that I was on, I talked about that Everything is Awesome song, right? And so now me and my friends, we finally went out to see the movie, and it was pretty awesome. Like, it is a kid's movie, but the message in it and what it teaches and how it I can't spoil it, so you just have to understand. It's awesome. You have to see it.
I hear it's a movie that parents can bring their kids to, and parents will enjoy it. Parents are usually bring their kids to movies, and they're bored to tears. Is this one that adults can enjoy, in your opinion?
I think less so than others. Well, I guess it depends on the mindset that you have. Like when you have the mindset of us where we're always like thinking positive with that whole attractive, like, you want to be positive to attract positive. So we have the right mindset to really appreciate the movie. Now you take the average person, they're going to go to it, and they might find it. Some people would look at it as cheesy if they're not kids, but it is something that all kids will love. And if you have the mindset of us or anybody that'll actually be watching this, and you're going to think it's awesome.
That's really cool. That's a good endorsement. That's something very true. People who are learning to appreciate, people who are learning the right mindset to be in, you can start enjoying even things that other people might consider to be mediocre, right? A walk in the park, a meal with friends, a kids movie. There's so much more joy that you can milk, that you can squeeze from situations when you have this mindset. So that's very cool.
I've always enjoyed kids' movies. I mean, I see almost every one of them. I always get something out of it. Really? And I know sometimes I look really weird going by myself into the theater, but I don't care because it always, I don't know, I always get joy out of it.
That's awesome. Look, I don't think you should be embarrassed at all. I mean, I'm not embarrassed for you, and I don't mean that sarcastically.
Okay.
I'm practicing the tone of my voice. Intonation is everything. No, I've actually gone to movies too by myself. Maybe not to see kids' movies, but there's something weird about it. But it's so fun to watch something where you don't have to, like. I don't know if you guys saw Inception. But you
Yes.
come out of that and you're still sort of taking notes, trying to figure out everything. But when I go and see something like Shrek or the last movie I saw that was really good was with Sarah Silverman and Seth Cohen. What's his name? Seth Rogen. Tom, what was that movie with the candy movie? Wreck-It Ralph. Did you see Wreck-It Ralph, Valerie?
No, but I heard good things about it.
Oh, it was so funny. I mean, I think an adult can watch this and really enjoy it, but even if you have just a youthful spirit, you're really going to like it. It's easy watching, and I love Sarah Silverman and everything. So that's cool. Look, Valerie, what's the last kids movie you went to see?
Good question. Can't remember
Wow.
any. I haven't been to the movies in a while. I know I wanted to see Frozen. I haven't seen it.
Oh, man. Okay. No spoilers. Now I'm getting all nervous for spoilers. I've been waiting to see that movie for a little while. Okay, cool, cool. Look, Valerie.
What was the last one? That's it. I'm losing my mind. Can't be that long ago. Anyway, I guess it'll come to me eventually. Sorry about that.
No, no worries. Well, look, tell us about your moment of appreciation, if you have one.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it short because it's been tough for me for the past 4 weeks for all kinds of reasons. Work-wise, Peter, you know about that. We had a discussion a few weeks ago regarding decision making, and this is when it started being tough. But that moment, actually, that discussion was very good for me. It brought clarity, and that's what I wanted. So that's one thing. But over those past 4 weeks, because of this tough situation, I realized like how much support I have around me. I mean, it was not just, it was family, friends, colleagues, ex-bosses, customers, and it was just amazing. So to feel like so much support from so many different avenues, I guess, I don't know. It was really very, very positive, and during that moment also, I lost a friend of mine. I mean, she was 99, so it was, kind of time, I guess. And what happened is when I was going through all this tough period, she really helped me because every time I needed to get away from the negative that was constantly in my mind, I said, okay, relax and just think of her and just visualize yourself spending a moment with her. And every time I did this, it didn't bring sadness. It just brought me such peace and fun and joy. And so those moments were like a breath of fresh air in my day. And that made all the difference.
That is awesome to hear.
That's it.
Yeah, for sure.
That is really cool.
That's a really, really good appreciation.
That's right.
Yes. Yes.
No, what you're saying there is absolutely right. Sometimes it's in those moments of pressure and stress and turmoil that our support systems become evident, right? Because we're relying on them. I remember hearing a story about, I think it was during Hurricane Katrina or after Hurricane Katrina in the United States, where John Travolta, he filled up, I'm hoping I get the right person right, but it was John Travolta filled up his plane and flew his plane down to New Orleans to bring supplies and food and things like that. Like, nobody asked him to do that. He just sort of did it. And you see all these sort of support systems coming out, people's goodwill, people's willingness to support you and to contribute. It's a really powerful thing to see up front and close. And I'm glad that I'm not glad that you went through suffering, but or that are going through suffering of any kind, but at least you're able to adopt the mindset that Lee was talking about and find some reason to appreciate it, right? And seeing these support systems.
I mean, and I think because of the big contrast, that made it like so much better. And by the way, I'm not suffering anymore. Things are much better. So it's and I got a lot of positive out of it, and I learned a lot about myself too. So it was very positive in the end. It was tough to go through it, but like anything, I think we always know that it's going to sound cliche, but there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. We always get out of it. At some point, things get better. They always do.
Very cool. That's a very cool story. Thank you very much, Valerie, for sharing that.
Well,
hey, look, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, Joanne. I'm going to ask you about your moment of appreciation in just 1 second, but is it just me, or do you feel like during the transition from winter to spring, that there's like this shift in people's personal lives where things sort of get jumbled around? For example, the point where there are most amount of breakups There's the statistics that came out for Facebook, I think it was, and people tend to break up around springtime. I guess they want to free themselves up for the party of winter. I don't know what of summer. I don't know what it is, but there's all these sort of transitions that happen. I also wonder, do people fall into these cycles not only with other people, but with the weather, with the seasons, with the earth? And I've noticed this for myself during the springtime. Things always start happening. Either they begin or they end. And the good thing about things being up in the air is that I learn what I should cut away. You know what I mean? When when life gets too big, then I realize, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. But look, I want to hear Joanne's moment of appreciation. What do you have?
Actually, my moment of appreciation is similar to what you're talking about. Yesterday, it was so beautiful out. And actually, I was talking to Sam, and she said it was so cold there in Montreal. And I had my patio doors open, and I couldn't help but put a comment on Facebook, and I said, it's amazing what a little warmth and sunshine and open patio doors will do to the excitement of cats. And my cats were just so happy and running around the house and running out onto the balcony, and it was so amazing. It's like, oh my God, summer's coming. You know, that's exactly how I felt. You know,
Nice.
it made me feel so good.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's wonderful.
That's my moment of appreciation, I'll tell you.
A good one. Love it.
Very
Of course,
cool.
today it's pouring rain, but...
I love the rain. Hey, look.
Well, yeah.
When the show's before the show started, we saw your cats running around in the background.
Yeah.
You have two of them there. What are their names? I didn't ask you.
Toby. Toby is the gray one.
Is Toby around?
Toby. Toby, where are you? He usually comes to me. There he is. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come here.
I'm cheating here, but cats are internet gold. I mean, there's very little on the internet that's better than a cat.
How cute.
Oh.
I'm losing my... This is Toby.
Hi, Toby.
Hi, Toby.
Oh,
Hi,
so
Toby. And the other one is Tank.
Tank. Oh,
yes.
very cool. Very cool.
Toby, I named him by himself, like I gave him a name, but Tank, his name was Tank when I got him from the SPCA, and both my daughters said that's a really cool name, so I left it at Tank.
Very nice.
And he does look like a tank because he's really big and he's got this huge face. They're both Maine Coon cats.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing that with us. And your moment of appreciation was really cool. It reminded me when I remember I don't know how many years ago it was, not too long ago. I had a cat. Her name was Isis, and I remember I was going through the hardest times in my life, and and I had this cat, and I would just sit down next to the cat as she was eating and just hang out with her, to get my mind off of what was going on. And sometimes just paying attention to your cats is a wonderful way to distract yourself to feel better. And
yeah, definitely.
Or sometimes they bring you back to the present moment. I know that's what mine does. It's sometimes I'm like thinking or something, or I'm too busy focused on the past, the future, whatever, and like she'll meow and she'll be right in my face and it's like, hey, come back here,
Yeah, exactly.
So
exactly.
It's good.
Awesome. Look, I didn't tell you guys this if you're watching, but there's a question and answer app on the Google Plus page, and if you have any questions, you can ask them. If we have any questions, we'll have a segment later on today called Q&A. But for now, let's go to the joke of the week. Oh, dear.
What about Lee? Did we get the moment of appreciation from Lee?
He was the first bravest
volunteer.
volunteer.
I'm so sorry. See, I'm telling you, I'm losing my
Lego movie.
Have another drink, Valerie.
Thank you. That is not fair. How did you know?
That's because you don't have your cam on.
I know. You don't hear any glasses, do you?
Wow.
No.
You
don't.
don't.
Drink from the bottle, though.
I got a bottle of water. You don't hear it. Integrity and hope.
Integrity and hope. integrity, and hope.
Don't try to
Integrity.
Look at him.
No, I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Integrity or hope.
It's always important to keep hope. You always want to have it, but integrity is so important. It's something you always got to keep with you. You know what?
That's right.
Maybe you should keep integrity for a bit and go with hope.
I agree.
Interesting. Okay, so we have 2 for hope.
We'll do hope.
Hope. Okay, perfect. It's funny. I was going to say this because I thought we weren't going to pick hope, but I'll tell you it anyway. I read the joke to Tom today, and he was like, "That's the hope joke." And I was like, I'm like, yeah. This is vocabulary. People are like, I'm like, oh, if it bombs, even better. So integrity is going to remain here, and hope has finally arrived. Okay, you ready? This is going to be probably the best joke you've ever heard. So.
Okay, I'm ready.
Just get yourself ready. It's gonna be so bad. Okay. What is the difference between ignorance and apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. Yeah.
That's good.
Well, my problem is I'm not sure what apathy is. So.
That's what Tom said.
But what does that have to do with hope?
No, it has nothing to do with it. The jokes have nothing to do with the name on the card, Joanne. Who's talking about getting out of the plane now?
I thought it had something to do with hope.
Not at all.
That didn't work at all. I'm just gonna
Okay.
all my cards. That didn't work.
My bad.
It bumped at 2 levels now.
I think it's because we waited for it for so long. Well, integrity is going to stay here.
Yeah.
Lee's impassioned speech has caused integrity to be the one that's going to stay here. So awesome.
Good.
I thought that was pretty good, though. Like,
Yes, I did.
It's so good just because it's so true.
Yeah, I know, but the silence afterwards was pretty telling, you know. No, that was really funny. No, very, very funny.
Well, you're doing a good job of making it funny now anyway. So.
Oh, look, you guys are doing great. You guys are doing it great. So I want to talk about 3 things today. We won't talk about them too much in depth. I know we're coming up at the end of our show, but I want to bring these up in a segment we call What a Great Idea, because I just want to point the finger at some wonderful ideas, give it your attention, go check it out, because the more we give our attention to things that we like, to ideas that are that we enjoy, the more they become a part of our experience. So I want to talk about 3 things today, and you definitely want to check this out. Now, at first glance, you might think, oh, this is not really for me, but I really want you to consider what these things might do. The first thing I want to talk about is called, it's the first product I want to talk about. It's called the Oculus Rift virtual reality headset, Oculus Rift. Now, this headset is the most, or rather the best, the most acclaimed virtual reality headset on the market today. It was just demonstrated at CES, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas in 2014 in January. And people are just blown away by this thing. Now, what it does is that it simulates a virtual reality, but not only as a screen, but in 3D. So you get a 3D view. Now, again, we can't talk about this too much. You really have to see this. But there's a video that we've posted on Facebook, and there's going to be a video again later on tonight about people's reactions to wearing this headset. So there's this video, there's this game that is used for this, and people are on a roller coaster, and you see people wearing this thing and freaking out as though they're really on a roller coaster. It's really a wild trip to see. So I really encourage you to go and check that out. The Oculus Rift virtual reality headset.
I wonder if they have something like that for skydiving.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You know, they don't have a game for it yet, but I'm positive that we're going to get it.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it.
But I was just watching the reactions to people to this thing. I was just laughing my butt off. It's really crazy. There was it was a 90-year-old grandmother, I think it was, that tried this out. Just imagine the gap between when she was a teenager to now putting on this headset, and she's literally losing her mind with this thing. It's really a must-see. So it's on our Facebook page. You can check that out, facebook.com.
Will do.
Law of Attraction Montreal. And so yes, and so the second thing I want to talk about is along the same lines, and it's called the Emotiv. I'm telling you all these things really quickly, but I have some questions for you in a second. The second product is called the Emotiv Epoc headset. Have you guys heard about this? Emotiv Epoc headset. It's an EEG, electroencephalogram, but a consumer model. So you put it on your head, and you're able to interface with technology and control it with your mind. So at its basic use, you're playing a sort of Jedi Star Wars video game, and you put this on, and instead of using a mouse control or a control pad or something like that, you're just thinking to lift the rock with the force. You're just thinking to move it left or right, and you're able to do that with just your mind.
Wow.
And because when you think forward, your brain goes through your brain specifically goes through a pattern of behavior, and you can record that pattern of behavior and then input that as an instruction in the game system. Now, I brought up these. Yeah, and so the third thing I want to tell you, and then I want to ask you guys some questions, it's called Holophonic Sound. Holophonic Sound. Have you guys heard about this?
No.
I watched the video.
Yeah, well, if you watch this video, make sure you have headphones on. It's also on our Facebook page. All this is on our Facebook page. And what it does is that it simulates a 3D environment with sound. Now, you think, well, I listen to 3D, I listen to stereo, but it's nowhere close to a 3D sound. This uses particular mics, special mics, in order to create a real virtual reality around you. And so there's a demo where someone is cutting your hair on this video, and you can actually, it actually feels like the scissors are near your ear. You can hear the razor or the blow dryer on your head. And the reason I bring this up is because as people are experiencing the simulation of reality, they're actually fooled and convinced into thinking it's real, right? And these are first-generation products. Imagine 10 years from now, imagine 50 years from now, we will be able to simulate reality absolutely. Now, has everybody here seen the movie The Matrix?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so here's my question for you. Do you remember in The Matrix where the guy Cypher, he's made his decision that he wants to get back into the Matrix, and he does not care that it's a virtual reality. He says, I know when I eat the steak that it's just electrical impulses being sent to my brain telling me that it's a delicious steak and it's not real, but I don't care. And my question to you is, if you could simulate reality completely, they put you in a pod, they plug you in, you're being nourished, you're being fed, you're in a simulated reality. Would you choose the virtual reality over real reality?
No.
Depending on what I want what to happen. What I mean?
Let's assume
like
that
if I want it to happen, if I want something to happen, like, yeah, maybe.
Okay,
but
so
if
we'll
it's
assume that
not something that I don't want to happen, no.
It'd be cool as a game, like to use a bit, kind of like in the Star Trek, the holodeck there.
The holodeck, yes.
Holodeck.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool to use as like to experience things, but as a permanent thing, like Matrix style, where like you're permanently connected to this or permanently away from it, then no, definitely away from it. Because like think about it, if you're permanently connected to it, you will never accomplish anything in your life. It's all fake. So what does your life really mean? Nothing.
That's right, but so then we come to the question of what is fake and what is real, right?
Well, yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I mean, reality is what we were talking about. It's not. It's relative. So it's what we experience. So it's all in our interpretation of it.
Somebody can interpret it as being real to them, but that doesn't actually mean it's real. It may be real in their mind, but there's a difference between perceiving something as real and something actually being real. And so you might think it's real. It might be real to you. But if you're not actually doing anything, like in this thing, virtual reality thing, you might be on a mission to like save the world, and things are going bad. You know what? You actually accomplish that. You do so many things. The world is saved. Everybody's super happy. But in reality, the actual reality, not in your mind in that game or whatever it is, like things might actually be going to hell. And so really, instead of actually doing something for real and making the world a better place, it goes to hell while you're enjoying your time in this virtual reality.
Well, I think that if one person thinks that if the person who is actually experiencing the virtual reality, if that person thinks that they are saving the world, just, how should I say this? Just there's a difference that person can make in the world just because of the vibration that person has. You understand? I mean, if that person thinks that he or she has saved the world or whatever, just that joy, that the epic win feeling of it, or this whole thing. I mean, I'm not saying that this is enough to save the world, but that has to be making a difference. I mean, it has to have an impact on anybody around that person, in real life.
Well, so there's...
If that person has no contact with people in real life, don't forget. They're in this virtual reality thing. So what difference could they possibly make? Other than just being more happy themselves?
That's right. So look, I'm just gonna. There are two ideas that I brought up here. So because I hear the points that you're making, and I actually agree with both of you. So just to make sure that we are on the same page. So there's a philosophy of thought that says that you don't only interact with your environment physically, with your physical body and your physical actions, but you also interact with it based on the energy of your being. Now, I don't know, I don't know how much the world is affected by our good feelings. I only know that it affects our experience. But then I imagine this. I imagine, what if, let's say, half the population decided to go into this virtual world? I think that would give our real world time to regenerate itself, to correct the imbalances that have occurred in nature, right? If you're not buying a car in real life, you're buying it in a virtual reality, I think that's good for the world. If you're not consuming junk food on the outside, you're just having the simulation of junk food on the inside, I think that's good for the world. And so in that sense, pursuing your joy in this way can actually positively...
Either.
Say again?
You wouldn't gain weight either.
One more time, it's breaking up.
And you wouldn't gain weight either.
That's right. You wouldn't
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
That's
like
right.
Eat junk food, but have the effect of, like, I don't know, broccoli or something.
There you go.
That's right. But let's put aside for the second that we are interacting with the world on some mysterious level. Let's talk about it in practical terms. There's objective reality and then our subjective reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way I see it is that the only reality we ever experience is the subjective reality. Even when you are interacting with objective reality, you're viewing it through your subjective lens. Do you agree with that, Lee?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Everybody views things their own way, but our viewpoint doesn't actually change what's real. It just changes what we perceive to be real. Reality is reality.
That's right. So here's the thing. If you, assuming this technology exists and you're able to plug in, if you value the real world experience over your own personal experience, then you're going to choose the real world. But if what you care about in life is your subjective experience, then you don't care that the real world hasn't changed, right? So
Absolutely.
My question to you, Lee, is why should we care that what we do is fake in the way that you say? Why should we care that it's fake? Why can't it just be in our own minds? And you lived your whole life, and then that's the end of it. And the only thing that's ever been affected is you. Why does that matter?
Well, then you can go on a really deep level there, actually. Like, if you're talking about, like, what if you care if it's only you that's affected? I mean, you can, like, who's to say it's only you that's being affected? If you're connected to this thing the whole time, what's actually supporting your physical body? What's actually feeding you? You're going to have this whole thing in place, and what's actually supporting that? You're now not actually going to do something to earn a living for the outside world to create an income to be able to support that. So that means it's somebody else that will have to be supporting you if you haven't actually done something for yourself.
That's right.
So now, if somebody actually goes and does something for themselves, like creates a business with a passive income so that they've constantly got money coming in and they have it taken care of, so that's going to support themselves so they can be in that because that's their dream, is to not have to be in the real world and be with that, then you know what? Hey, great for them.
Yeah, but well, look, I hear what you're saying, Lee. I see two scenarios where being plugged into the virtual world can actually be of benefit to the rest of the world. You can actually, so in the Matrix, for example, human beings are used as batteries. Okay, so let's assume that we can just use a human being as a valuable battery, a good battery. Then you could say, well, plug yourself in, you give us the energy of your being, and you can have the experience that you're wanting. Okay, that's one scenario. Okay. The second scenario is that your brain is a computer. So what if they're able to plug you in, and while you're having your simulated reality, they use your brain as computational power. They use it as a computer system. That way people in the real world can do way more because we have people plugging in with their brains, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's just two scenarios that I come up off the top of my head, but I can imagine a way that we set up the world where either things are done automatically, right, robots, whatever it is, or that we no longer have currency and money, that we don't need to validate what we do in that sense because everything is so free or cheap or whatever it is. But I really want to talk about the value judgment, how much you appreciate your experience versus your experience in real world. And that's why I like the dichotomy that you're bringing up, Lee, because I agree with you. What does it matter if you're having all this fun if the world isn't changed, right? Because I measure, part of my measurement of success, my standard of success, is that you left the world better than when you came into it, right?
Right.
But I know a lot of people, they couldn't care less about leaving the world better off, right? They're just caring about their experience Joanne, what do you think? Do you think that if you could plug into a world that was of your choosing, okay, and you're not there by yourself, you're there with everybody else who's plugged in, right? And Lee, consider this. Consider that you're able to live multiple lifetimes. You're able to collapse time, let's say, and live multiple lifetimes in this virtual world. Now, considering, so Joanne, this is for you. Would you go into a world where it was good and set, and you can do it your way, and you're still with other people? And Lee, would you do it if you could
still with the people that I love?
That's right. All the people you love are plugged in. That's right. And Lee, you can live, let's say, the equivalent of 50 lifetimes in the span of one lifetime. Joanne, would you choose the virtual world? Lee, would you choose the virtual world?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, possibly. It's a very hard question to answer.
Yeah, no, it's hard. I know. I know, Lee, you've probably thought about this, right?
Oh, I still no. Like I said, it'd be great to experience, to do things, but there's two things to it. Like, if it's the virtual world where basically things always go your way, like I heard this example said before, where it was, I don't know if it's from a book or a talk, but imagine this. There's a guy who, he's really into fishing, and so he's like fishing trout in the sea, and then it turns out like he died, and so now he feels he's in heaven, he's fishing, and he just throws the rod in, and he gets like the biggest trout ever, and he's like, oh man, that's like so awesome, and he does it again, and so he's still struggling, like throwing out further, and you know what, still even bigger trout, and then he's like, oh, I didn't even have to try for that one. You know what, let's just like not even try, just put in here. Oh no, look, even bigger trout. So basically he's getting like everything, but there's no struggle because he's getting everything that he wants. And in the end, he realized he's in hell. Because without that struggle, without actually trying to go through struggles and get through them to accomplish things, like there is no sense of accomplishment. And without that, like, what does it matter anymore?
That's very good.
Now, and if everything's going your way, you're going to be miserable. Like, I think that's why you have so many people that are really successful in the sense, like, in the average person's viewpoint, they're really successful, they're really rich, and yet a lot of these people, they are super miserable because they're not really accomplishing anything anymore. Everything is just, they get it on a whim.
So
I really like that idea, Lee. What you just said there was immensely powerful. I completely agree. If you could live in a world of your own construction and experience the joy of that, how long would it be before it felt like torture? How long would it be before it became meaningless, right?
Yeah, but then change it. What I mean is, like, then you have a desire that's going to be changed based on what you just experienced. Exactly. So if you're bored by getting what you want all the time, then change your criteria, change the settings, change the settings of the virtual reality, and make it whatever you want it to be. If you want a specific challenge, then okay, like set it up to have that challenge, and then experience it and become another person, and then keep going, like we do in reality. I have air quotes. You can't see them, but
I like that. I like that. Joanne, I know you had something to add.
Yes, I have an answer to your question.
Very good.
If we could all of us, everybody in the family and everybody we love, and can spend the rest of our life at an all-inclusive in the Caribbean somewhere, then yes, I'll go for that.
Okay, Joanne, let me ask you, to Lee's point, how long could you live on the beach in an all-inclusive resort where all your needs are taken care of, extreme joy? How long could you live with that?
Forever.
Lee would say you couldn't live for it forever. It only seems that way because you live a life of conflict now, but once you become acclimatized to that, then it would lose its power, right? Like, how long do you...
Let me put in some
Okay, so I get tired of that resort, and I go to another one. I go to another country.
Look, here's the thing. Like, I totally see where you're going with this. Like, my dreams are to be able to go to those resorts and spend, like, as long as I want to there. I just know that, like, I won't be able to do that forever because at one point, even if I have all my friends there, unless we're, like, constantly doing something different, we'll get bored. There still has to be some sense of accomplishment. Now, like, there's another side to this, in the sense that if you're not, like, permanently in the machine, and say it's something you actually have to work up to be able to get what you want afterwards, you still have that struggle, the sense of accomplishment, then you can go in there and then if you get sick of it, then you can come back out and do something else. Then that can try things differently. But it's when you have that, you're permanently in there to have everything going the way you want, then that would just be bad in the end.
No, I agree with that. I think that would really probably be the definition of hell, even though it sounds like heaven.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Very interesting. Look, this has been a lively conversation. I really liked it. I really appreciate the insights that you brought there. I'm like Lee. I would choose to live in the virtual world only temporarily and only if it had real world benefits, right? So yes, going in there on a vacation, having fun, that's fine. But if I can go into the virtual world and learn a skill in a fraction of a second, then I would take that skill into the real world. If I can go in and live an experience of a story and then come out and then create something new from that, that's what I would do. And so I didn't start off this idea with that position, Lee, but after what you were saying.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah,
I just have to leave. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, please.
All right, hold on.
I still believe that, I'm not saying I would. I think I would just do it for certain periods of time to learn something, to experience something, to feel better, or to just, try anything. Even though I think that our reality might even be a virtual reality. Who knows what reality is. But I still believe that whatever we experience changes us. So I think that alone changes everything around us. So I think that no matter what we do, just our presence here or in the universe has an impact, no matter what, even if we do nothing. So I think that the minute we experience something, it changes us, so it changes everything. So I think it contributes no matter what.
I agree. That's a very sort of meta way of looking at it, right? It's metaphysical.
Right. Yeah.
And, I can't point to any specific research that says that specifically, but I do believe the more we experience, the more we understand consciousness, human consciousness, the more we're going to realize how interconnected we are, and the more we're going to be able to, see that an emotional state of a city, for example, can influence the region around it, that the mental states of people, of consciousness, can actually influence the world.
Well, you were talking... Yeah, go ahead.
But I think that if you sit down and you have a wonderful moment on the beach, that you are contributing to the world. But I think you are contributing more if you're having a wonderful experience producing something, working and doing something in that sense. So we're talking about degrees of influence. If your thoughts can influence the world, then thoughts and actions can influence the world even more, right?
Right.
And so so that's where I see what Lee's saying is this value proposition. And I really want... Oh, Joanne, I put you on mute, so I'm going to unmute you. But I wanted to tell you guys...
I was moving here.
Yeah, I want to tell you guys one thing, actually two things, and then we'll wrap it up. But the first thing is, have you guys heard of the holographic universe? The idea of the holographic universe?
A discussion we had not too long ago, yes.
Yeah, Lee, what would you do if you found out, everyone, what would you do if you found out? And this is actually a possibility. It's actually a possibility. What would you do if you found out that you were actually living within the Matrix right now? That the world that you consider to be real reality is actually all within a computer system, because there is some evidence to suggest that
who's to say we're not?
Yeah, that's it. It's like it might be. That's what I was saying. That maybe this is. I've thought about it. So all right, whatever. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah,
no, it doesn't.
Lee, what if you woke up and you found out this is actually everything that you consider to be reality is actually a simulation? What has happened is that flash forward 100 years from now, human beings have been able to create a simulated reality to the point that they can download their consciousness into a computer system, and then they recreate past events or another sort of Earth, and you're in it, and you're unaware that you're hooked up to this system, right? You've lost that consciousness, but then you become aware that this all of reality, not only Earth, but all of the stars, everything that we've ever done is within a computer, a simulated system. Would you feel that reality had less value or more value, Lee? Less value. Very interesting.
Oops.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that. You'd have to, right? You'd have to say that it has less value.
Yeah, without a doubt.
You'd want to get out as soon as possible, right?
Well, that's the thing. At this point, it sounds like it's something you can't even get out because you don't actually exist in the first place. So it's not like you're plugged into the Matrix, but you're just there. You have no body.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's It's really it's a big discussion.
It's a deep
something
question.
that you.
Well, it makes me think of what Tom said one time when he came to a group discussion, and when he was saying how everything he sees like reality to him, like he takes it as a dream or as an illusion, and so it's just it all depends on how you look at it. So it just made me think of that. You know what I'm talking about, Peter? Remember?
I do. Sort of this. You're living within a dream, and what I like is that there are enough people like Lee that we can all plug in and they can run the system. That. I'm just picking on you. I agree with everybody. Lee would say real world, I say real world. Valerie would say dream world, I say dream world, and Joanne says I don't know, and I completely agree. I mean, who of us can say?
It depends,
really, right? All inclusive.
That's right, but
that's the way I'm going to go.
I'm going with you. I'm definitely going with you.
There you go. Exactly.
That's right. But the idea that this brings up is that it's do we value conflict or contrast? Do we value negativity, right? Because that's what the real world is. It's this balance between what we like and what we don't like. And I think when I hate reality the most, that's when I'm more willing to go into the virtual world. But the truth is, It's that sort of tension with reality that creates the sensation of things being worthwhile and worth your effort and worth that energy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I want to leave you guys with one statement made by Alan Watts. Alan Watts was a philosopher during the 1960s, I believe. There's lots of videos of him online. He proposes a thought experiment that goes something like this. Imagine that you had the ability to dream whatever it is that you want to dream. Okay? And you're dreaming an extremely vivid and lucid dream. You ever have a lucid dream?
Oh, yes, many times.
Yep.
Many times.
What about you, Lee? Have you ever had a lucid dream?
It's been a long time, but I do remember having them
oh, my God.
A while ago.
Well, imagine being able to have a dream that is so vivid that it completely fools you into thinking it's real life. Mm-hmm. Now, imagine you're able to go to sleep in this dream, and every night you go to sleep, you have the equivalent of, let's say, 75 years, 80 years of life, okay? And you're able to do whatever it is you want in this dream. And when you wake up to your now moment, and you realize, oh, that was a lot of fun. Now, Alan Watts, he says this. He says, imagine you have this ability to go into your dream and then wake up, and you're able to dream lifetime after lifetime after lifetime every night. He says, eventually, you'd start running out of things that you'd want to dream about, and you'd start getting bored with your dreams. And he says, eventually, after you've experienced all that you want to experience, all the joys, all the hedonistic qualities of the universe, after you've experienced it all, eventually you would start asking for something different. You would start asking for a surprise. You'd start asking for the unexpected. And so you'd start dreaming the unexpected. And you dream it night after night after night after night, possibility after possibility after possibility, and then eventually, Alan Watts says, you would end up dreaming the life that you have right now.
Really?
What's
the point of all that?
This is a better reaction than the reactions you had to your joke.
There you go.
The point that he was making was that if you did have the ability to make reality exactly the way you wanted to, and also had the ability to experience eternity over, great scopes of time, then eventually you would get into such complex permutations, such variations on life, such unexpected surprises and different changes that eventually you would end up with the possibility of this life, right? If you could live an infinite amount of experience. And so what he was trying to say is that, don't, at least what I took away from it was, don't keep wishing for life to be this way or that way or good or bad. You want to realize that the life that you have right now is perfect. The life that you have right now is perfect because it contains within it all the possibilities, all the sort of unexpectedness, all the surprises that, in truth, if you got over all the I'm tired and I want things to go better, if you got rid of all of that, you would start appreciating the life that you have now. You would start appreciating all the bad things that happen, all of the things that caused you stress and problems, because you'd realize that it was that gave the spice to life, right? It was that gave life meaning. And so Possibly. Well, we only say possibly from our point of view, but I agree with Lee. Ultimately, life only has meaning because of the conflict, because of the stress.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree. I mean, you can't go through the happy times without having the bad times.
Oh, you can, but you won't appreciate them, right? You won't appreciate
yeah, exactly. You won't appreciate the happy times. Exactly. Yeah.
Look,
I agree. I agree.
On that note of appreciation, I really want to thank you guys so much for participating. We went a lot longer this time, but I'm glad that you guys stuck it out. You guys are a lot of fun. This is going to be a popular video.
Yeah.
It's always a lot of fun.
If you're watching this video later on YouTube, you can you'll be able to watch this video later on YouTube, on Google+, on our Facebook page. Come check this out on lawofattraction.ca. I just want to let you know very quickly, we have some upcoming events. March 20th, we have a community discussion, the first community discussion moderated by someone else. So I won't be there, but my wonderful friend Jose Di Maria will be there talking about, or moderating a group discussion about personal empowerment. So I really encourage you to go check that out. That's on March 20th, and that's at Chai Tea Lounge. Information is on our meetup page. March 23rd, we have the Emotional Spectrum, an event at the Rebik Center downtown, so you definitely want to check that one out. Look, is there anything left to say?
I think that was a great discussion.
Yeah, it was
really
a
interesting.
discussion.
It was. One day I'm going to surprise you guys, and I'm going to come down and meet you all.
Oh, wouldn't that be
That'd
awesome?
great.
Look, I can't forget our comment of the week just before we go. Comment of the week is by Joseph. Joseph was commenting on an event that we were going to hold on St. Patrick's Day, but so many people messaged me that I changed it. It was popular. He was sort of on the fence, and he wrote, okay, I'll come, but I don't expect the best of acoustic venues. Right next door will be the finishing line for the annual St. Patrick's Day parade. You will need to speak loud enough to drown out a few hundred sloshed people drinking lots of green beer.
That's true.
So I'm glad we didn't have to deal with that. We'll be doing that on March 23rd instead.
That's true.
Look, I think we have a lot to look forward to. I think even Lee, I got your message about wanting to hold a group discussion. Wanting to hold an event. So I'm really looking forward to talking to you about that. And everybody else, thank you guys so much for coming here. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful night.
So Peter, don't forget the drunk Saturday night meeting, eh?
Yes, that's right. That's right. We have to do a late night appreciationist. It's an idea.
There you go.
Appreciationist where we can drink alcohol, and one other appreciationist where we're all wearing pajamas. But that's just.
Oh, we could do it the same night.
Yeah, exactly.
Like pajamas, the costumes. Who cares?
That's right.
I want to thank you guys very much. Have a nice night.
And you too.
Bye,
guys.
Bye, Val. Bye, Lee.
Bye.
Have a good night. Have a good week.
You too.
Bye.
Are you staying, Lee?
So did you want to talk about what we were talking about now, or did you want to talk about that later?
No, we'll talk about it now. I just want to let people know if you want to check out this video or other videos, you can check it out on our YouTube page. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. If you're in the Montreal area, come check out one of our meetups at meetup.com/TLOAMTL. That's meetup.com/TLOAMTL. And look, if you have any comments, you want to win the comment of the week, you can get a little cupcake. Please post a comment on our YouTube page, Facebook page, anywhere you find us. If you're looking for any of our information, you can find us on the lawofattraction.ca. Hope you have a wonderful night. Take care.